Hello YouTube. Today we're going to do an oil change on this 1988 C30. This should be the same on any big block, and I think most small blocks. This is a big block 454. So what we're going to need today is I got some oil, some 1540. I got a 9/16 wrench or 9/16 socket. This may be the size yours is. You'll just have to check. A Wix filter. I've had a couple people tell me that these are the best, and Vice Grip says this oil and this filter is what he does, so if it's good enough for him, it's got to be good enough for me. You may not need this, but if you don't know who did it before, you don't know how hard they tightened it, it's nice to have an oil filter wrench. I have one of these ratcheting styles that'll just lock on it, and you can take it off. Hopefully I don't need this. They should come off by hand. And then you need something to put your oil in, and then a headlamp is always helpful too when you're working onto something. And then depending on how tall your truck is, this is a stock height C30, and I already have it jacked up. So a jack and a jack stand. But my last truck was a K10 that was lifted on 35s. You could just crawl under it and do it. So you just have to see what you need. If you can get under there and reach it and put a pan under it, that's all you need. Before you go down, it's always a good idea to come up, and this is on your valve cover of your engine. It's usually on the driver's side one. And take your oil fill cap off. That'll help the oil drain out better. It lets the air escape so the oil can get out. All right, next you just want to find your drain plug, crack it loose, and then make sure you have your pan or bucket or whatever you have under it to drain. And then take that off. I just unscrew it all the way and keep turning left to loosen it. And then once you know it's all the way out, see I can hear it clicking, it's all the way out, just, pull away. You can do it usually without making too much mess. So you're gonna let that drain and then find your oil filter. All right, since the last clip, I got a new light and I just kind of wiped off my drain plug with a rag. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe off around here and then put my drain plug back in. And then I already actually cracked this loose. I used my little wrench and cracked it loose. It actually wasn't that tight. I probably didn't need to, but it's really far up here. So I just did anyway. And then I want to take this out, let it drain, and then just take it all the way down and get ready to put the new one in. And then you always want to, when you have a fresh filter, I just dumped a little oil in there, but you could just stick your finger in the jug. I just only have one hand because I'm holding the camera. And then wet this seal here to make sure it seals to your engine block. So I'm just kind of going to get a little oil in that seal. Some people say to fill your oil filter up because it'll fill up when you start the engine, but I've never done that and it's never been a problem. All right, so now I'm going to put my new oil filter up in here. It just threads on like a normal thread. If I can get it started in here. There we go. That should just spin in there. And then you just want to get this hand tight. You don't want to use a wrench to tighten it. Just get it as tight as you can get with your hand. That's about all I can get. And then while you're down here, just make sure you tighten your plug. It doesn't have to be crazy tight. I just have it hand in there right now. And then just a little, that's good enough. Just a little snug. You don't want to tighten that too much and strip that either. All right, once you get everything tightened up down there, get all your tools out, get your bucket out front of the truck, and then you can drop her back down. All right, now it's just as simple as putting oil back in. You'll have to look up what exactly your truck or car takes. This big block 454 in this truck takes 7 quarts. So I'm going to dump this whole 5 quart in. And then I have another one I'll dump 2 quarts in. I'll actually probably put a little less. Start the truck up, let it cycle a little bit. And then I'll check the oil level and make sure I'm in the right spot. So maybe we'll just start with 6. There you go. That was a little more than one. Except these are actually only 1 gallon, so that was only 5. Let me put a little more in. You have to be careful. Some of these come in 1 gallon containers, and some of them come in 5 quarts. So you just gotta make sure you know which one you got. Now I'll start it up real quick. I'm gonna take this out and just set it down here for a second and put the cap back on, and I'll fire up. All right, now that it's running for a minute, take your dipstick out, wipe it off, stick it back in there, and then pull it out and see where you're at. So I'm still pretty low, below the add a quart line, so I need to add well over a quart. So I'll add that and check it again. All right, since the last clip, I added more oil. I ran the truck for a second, so we'll check her again. Swipe her stick off. Come back out, yep. So I don't know if you can really see that on there. There you go, you can kind of see it. See the checkered line? You can see it on this side. The checkered line is where you want to go to. So it actually just crept down from me holding it, but it was right about there. So you just want to be in this checkered area. So we're good. We're good right there. This truck did need 7 quarts, but this is the first time I'm doing an oil change on it. And just looking it up, it said 6 or 7, depending on which big block you have and what year. And so instead of digging too deep into it, I just put 6. Check it. If it's not enough, you add more. I think that's the best way to do it if it's your first time. So you can look it up, but trust but verify. And it's way easier to add more oil than it is to take it away. Because if you need to take it away, you gotta take the drain plug out, whole deal.